What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Kind of Creepy. I'm Jason Emmett,
And I'm Twisted Kid Matt.
guy over there. It's always weird because to me, you're over there, but to them, you're over here. Welcome once again. We've got another we're in the month of Halloween here, and if you guys haven't checked out the video we did with Behind the Why, did part of it with Behind the Funny, go back and watch it. There's some fun. There's a really good clip in there, and we do a lot of breakdown of what we do and don't believe is real, which is what we kind of do on this show.
Yeah.
Except for Bigfoot, we just believe in Bigfoot here on this show. I mean, for the most part, we've been pretty critical of a few
Yeah.
Bigfoot videos.
I've got
it's
more
really,
proof that it's real than I do that it's fake. So
yeah, I agree.
yeah.
And so we won't go into a whole tangent here. We'll go into a very, very brief thing before we get to the actual show. Matt just read a thing because just so everybody knows, as of the recording of this, Bob Gimlin is very much alive. So we checked on that like we always do.
Mhm.
But when we're doing that, somebody put up a question that Matt read, and it said if Bob Gimlin turned around like today and said that the whole thing was a hoax, like how would it affect your belief of Bigfoot? And some people were like, "Oh, I turned into a disbeliever right away." And I'm like, the first thing I said to Matt is, "Why? That's just ignorant."
Yeah.
He didn't invent Bigfoot. Bob Gimlin didn't come up with this. He was out there looking for it too. So if he came out and lied, which I actually believe Patterson Gimlin, there's way too much evidence. We did a deep dive into some of the new evidence, but we're going to do another one because there's even more stuff coming out and just things that it would have been nearly impossible for them to fake at the time.
Yeah.
Guys from Industrial Lights and Magic have looked over it. The dude who did the special effects for Planet of the Apes has actually looked into it, and he's like there was stuff on that I couldn't do. We see bone moving under there, so all this stuff. So it's like I do believe it's real, but if he came out tomorrow and said it was fake, like I would just assume he was out there looking for it and faked it because he couldn't find it and didn't want to come back and eat crow. But like I think it's probably ignorant to say, oh, one guy would change my whole course.
Right.
Like Matt said, there's still a lot of evidence out there, so he went looking for it because it already existed. We've talked about that, I mean, on here. And we're next, I think our next episode is actually going to be, it's going to be a Bigfoot episode for those of you who like it, but it's going to be a really cool one we've been discussing between us for a while, and that is the infamous Sierra Sounds. So if you guys know anything about it, come back because we got a lot of info on it. And if you don't, it's going to be a whole new thing. But some people consider it really strong evidence.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's weird too. Like it's real strange.
Oh, it's weird, dude. You got it's kind of like hair up on your arms, kind of to listen to. Anyway, it's just kind of it's kind of creepy. So,
you said the name in the show, guys.
They said it right there. It's like when movies try to force the title of the movie in. It's fine when it makes sense.
He definitely was a hard target. Like, oh, he said the name.
He said it. Now I know why they call it that.
It's gonna be a Mortal Kombat.
Well, okay, so you brought up Mortal Kombat, which is where I was about to go, which is funny. So in Mortal Kombat, no, they say Mortal Kombat, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
It says "Welcome to Mortal Kombat" because it's the name of the
It's
tournament.
the name of the tournament, yeah.
But they used to do this thing back in the like 90s and late 80s when they would make a movie where they would, and it was just bad. Mortal Kombat does it. Street Fighter did it really bad. But it's where they would like make sure they told you the name of the character, but it was like nobody speaks like that. And so it's like in Mortal Kombat, he's like, "Isn't that so, Mr. Shang Tsung?" It's like, we get it. It's Shang Tsung. We understand. Like, you don't have to like just make sure you point out that is the character's name in such a way that just feels uncomfortable. Anyway, I'm tangenting. Let's not do that. So this week we're going to be talking about Gettysburg, which is really cool.
And not associated with Mortal Kombat at all.
Not at all.
Although it was a Mortal Kombat field.
So it was, actually. That's a good segue if you think about it, because
I got them all day, man. I got them all day.
During the Battle of Gettysburg, like they estimate around 51,000 like troops died. It is like the most bloody battle of the Civil War. It took place over 3 days. So, and it's really weird when you start
Just
thinking about
Gettysburg?
just Gettysburg. Gettysburg, the 3 day engagement
Okay.
went from July 1st to July 3rd, my birthday, and it happened in 1863. So it was I've been to Gettysburg
All
over
right.
July 4th weekend. I don't recommend that.
Logistical question for you. Logistical
Yeah.
question. So during these 3 day battles, because I don't know how this works, to be honest, do they just go, all right, guys, let's get up, have breakfast. We're gonna have a battle right over there later on today. Let's have our coffee and eggs and everything. Get ready to fight. Then
Sometimes
they're like, all right, it's 8 o'clock. Let's go battle. And they're like,
so
all right, it's quitting
weird.
time, guys. Like,
So war was done
what?
differently back then and back in like even in World War One, World War Two. So yes, sometimes they knew like tomorrow we're going to go into heavy battle with these guys, and they would know like we're at dawn we go, and they would know sometimes we're gonna this is the day we clash with them.
So there was no
But
like
no,
surprising them. They kind of just knew it was going to happen.
so yes and
Sort
no
of.
with some of this.
No.
So July 1st. So it went for 3 days, July 1st to July 3rd. So the Confederates they enter Gettysburg and they're like searching for supplies and stuff, and they end up clashing with like Union cavalry. I can't say that word either. Apparently,
Cavalry.
so the Confederates drive the Union forces back into through the town. So Gettysburg, there was a small town, and then there's a lot of like land, especially at that time, right?
Yeah.
So they end up driving them back through the town, but the Union ends up getting a defensive position up in the hills, right? So that's like the first day. So second day of Gettysburg, General Lee launches like a really heavy assault on the Unions that off to the left flank. So again, you've got like different flanks and stuff like that. I don't know if it really makes sense. It's war and battle is done totally different today.
Yeah.
You couldn't do this.
Now it's just
It wouldn't
nonstop,
work.
just onslaught.
So July 2nd is one of the real bad days. That we have several areas throughout Gettysburg where the war takes place as well. So there's a big fight, a real fierce battle that starts in a place called Little Round Top, and then there's a place called Devil's Den, which is a very infamous place for ghost sightings, by the way. And then there was a peach orchard that had like took place in all this. So a lot of what the battles that take place don't take place in the town, but some do. If you go to Gettysburg today, there's actually places where there's this building that has a cannonball lodged into a piece of like it's outside, it's still there. They left it. They've left buildings that had like bullet holes and stuff. They've left that stuff, which is really cool. Gettysburg is an amazing place. I recommend it. I did camping over a 4th of July weekend once. Don't necessarily recommend that. It's very hot. It's very crowded. So July 3rd, they believe that the center of the Union soldiers is vulnerable. So Lee orders a massive frontal assault on what's called Cemetery Ridge, and this is called the Picket Charge. It's very famous. And this I think I'm looking this up right now. The attack involved around 12,500 Confederate troops, and this was a complete failure. The Union's artillery just demolished them. So that kind of ended the battle. Lee ends up retreating after that last battle, and so Gettysburg is considered like a huge turning point in the Civil War because of this. I mean, because of this whole thing. The thing to remember is, like I said, over 50,000 men died, and it's like the biggest number of casualties in any one skirmish throughout the Civil War. And the rumors are that like I think it was Devil's Den, the casualties were so thick, the bodies were so thick that if you go there now, it's beautiful. Like you stand up on the hill and you look down and it's gorgeous. But if you stand there and think about it, they said the bodies were so thick you couldn't like walk without stepping on corpses.
I've heard this too. There was so much blood, it was just running down the hill.
And you're looking at a war where it's like they said, brother against brother. I think that the fact that we hear a lot of ghost stories based around the Civil War and specifically around Gettysburg just makes sense. You and I have talked about
Yeah.
energy, especially negative energy. I've done a ghost walking tour there. It was in the middle of town, but it's still creepy. Like the vibe, you will feel this vibe. Like it's a wonderful place to visit. It's such a piece of history, like trapped. But
Yeah.
that's just it. History is
Trapped.
trapped there, and I don't know that that'll ever go away. So we've done a video on this show before because it's a video. I think we've talked about it a couple times on this
Mhm.
show of some people that were filming, and you see troops, like ghost troops, walking across a thing. There are several out there, and so today I thought it would be kind of cool for us to pull a couple of those clips up.
Yeah.
Um, and not that one. These are actually three separate clips that aren't that one. So that one exists too. There's a clip out there somewhere if you guys want to go looking for it where somebody's filming. You don't see anything, but you start hearing like drums off in the distance, like marching drums and shit. And they're like, we don't. It could have been something. People are like, well, reenactments, right? But reenactments don't go on every day at Gettysburg. It's not the way it works, guys.
Yeah.
If you're out on a field in an open field at dawn or dusk and you start hearing drums, it could be weird. It's probably weird.
Yeah.
But we actually have pulled some different videos. We have 3 different clips we're going to go over today, and got as much information on them as I could when I found them. Some of them had information attached, so I just left it. And these are kind of fresh for Matt. He knew we were going to talk about them, but he haven't really fully watched these clips. The thing I want to bring up, though, one of the things to me that is most consistent that makes some of these Gettysburg clips so believable to me is we always consistently across the board see the same thing. The spirits look the same. They move the same. It's weird. And if you pay close attention, you'll be able to make out things that look like uniforms and stuff. So, um, yeah, let's gear up the first clip, and then we'll talk about it, get some of your thoughts and stuff on it. All right, so a little bit very basic information about this first clip, just so you guys know. We have a family. They're vacationing in Gettysburg. This is back in 2009. They're out, filming battlefield with a handy cam. It's like it's a 2009. You kind of know what kind of cameras existed,
Yeah.
and this is what they got. Also, I would put in, we're throwing up pictures here and there of just random photos taken throughout Gettysburg as well. Just remember, it's not unusual for people to be filming or taking pictures in Gettysburg. It's a historic location, so there's a lot of reason why people would be doing that. But these guys were out filming 2009. This is what they got. So
I don't see nothing down there.
now I guess where I want to
Can't
point
be the
your attention,
motorcycles,
if you're
honey.
not paying attention, is to the left. There's like a rock there, and if you
There's
watch,
another
there
spot. You see what I'm
What's
saying?
that?
And I'll highlight a
What is
screen.
Several.
that?
You'll see
Tree.
several,
No.
and then there,
You
They're
moved
walk.
it,
going back
right?
and forth.
Well, they'll stop again. They'll sort of lock it back down.
Right
But there you
there.
go.
See?
Uh-huh.
What it
Look.
looks like, what it appears to be, is a bunch of troops, like almost marching up over this rock and off
Look.
to the left.
Isn't it those people?
Can't be.
There's no
Not up in the trees.
And yes, there is something going on in the trees too, occasionally, which is
See?
even more weird. So here's kind of a zoomed in. Again, 2009 Handycam, guys. It's not high def stuff here.
Yeah.
It was at best probably.
360 probably.
You see that though? Isn't that just?
Also, this is kind of low light. It's as the sun setting.
It's probably dusk ish.
Which again, thinking about where the sun is, it's not bright enough to be like illuminating something necessarily, like not like that at least. But these almost have like a shimmer to them.
Yes, and real common. If you look in the background, occasionally you'll see like these little flashes of light. It happens in a lot of these clips. But what's the uniformity and the way this feels like a group of people in a straight line walking, which is what a lot of these clips have always felt like. That one that we talked about that we've played on the show a couple of times is just that. It looks like a line of soldiers marching. and it's just really, to me, it's just really eerie. And I think that we've talked a lot on
I
this
don't
show
see
about
nothing down there.
um
Can't be the motorcycles,
w-
honey.
what can't be the motorcycles. I
Can't
don't
beat
know.
motorcycles,
Hey,
honey.
Mr. Sparkle, you see what I'm
What's
saying?
that?
We've talked a lot on the show about different
Who
types of
is that?
hauntings, and I think most of the hauntings people
No.
see in Gettysburg are
Who is
what
it?
they refer to as echoes. They
Yeah,
don't
like a
interact. There's no interaction.
residual.
Yes,
Yeah,
where
residual hauntings.
they're not interacting with you. You're seeing, you know, like like a lot of these. You wonder, was this group that we're seeing, was this their final march? Like, is this, you know, where did they march forward and this is where they died? They didn't make it past it. So very weird. So first of all, Matt, I assume you've probably never seen this clip before.
I actually have seen this specific clip.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you've seen this one.
yeah, and
There,
it's great. I actually like this one a lot. Like this, the whole haunting of Gettysburg. It's bizarre that I haven't been there myself to see this, but like we said, you know, the amount of loss of life from this is just something has to be there. So that's not to show my hand too much on my thoughts on, you know, whether or not Gettysburg is haunted. I like it almost has to be. Like
yeah.
it's such a like
If you believe in
historical
hauntings,
and yeah,
you have to
historical
almost
and
believe.
tragic
Yeah.
combined, and then just yeah, it's a lot.
And again, we've talked about it on the show. Regardless, like to me, maybe you don't like if we talk about the Conjuring house or whatever. Maybe you don't believe in that kind of haunting. That's fine. But to me, one thing science has proven is that energy cannot. It has to go somewhere. Energy can't just be destroyed once it's been created. So these are just photos, by the way. Just different people have taken photos and captured weird things they weren't expecting. Obviously, not the man on the rock, but the thing in front of him.
I was gonna say
Look,
yeah, it's a I
you know,
love the level of pixelation too. Just
you could be out and it could be missed. You know, we don't
yeah,
know, but it's still weird. Um, this one's kind of weird. It's zoomed in highly, but it's like it just sort of blends in. It's bizarre. But yeah, energy has to go somewhere. So to me, it's very, whether you believe in the other stuff or not, it's feasible to think that you would see an echo that is not, you can't interact with. It's just an echo of the past, something that happened. It's just the energy that is caught there, sort of redoing its thing over and over. I like to think that, and not that this is the actual guys reliving the same thing over and over.
yeah.
And it's just a shadow. But like I said, you see a very specific type of ghost here. And we're going to, when we go into the next clip, we're going to see the same thing. Actually, in both clips, we're going to see the same type of spirit here. So let's play that second clip.
Want to try to film something here?
Yeah.
They said there's activity here before, but all right. So we're gonna
So
sit here
these
for a
two
while.
gentlemen are going out looking for
Film
ghosts.
the camera.
A lot of troops left.
And somebody told them, hey, there's a lot of activity in this particular area. So they went there. They sit there for a while. I did clip a big chunk out. They sit there for 20, 30 minutes. Now, if you look over by the cannons.
That just
Holy
appeared
crap.
too.
Down by the canyon, you see that?
Oh, what is that?
And again, I'll highlight it on screen up there.
God. Is it?
No way. What is that?
I have no friggin' idea.
Did you get that on the camera?
It's recording.
And if you look at this,
Oh my
we'll
gosh,
do
did you see
highlight,
that?
obviously. If you look at it, it's, again, it
Did you,
looks like
honestly,
I
a
wouldn't believe it
uniform.
unless we recorded it.
Yeah.
So here we go. Is the highlight, a little close up. And like Matt said, it just sort of comes out of the darkness, out of nowhere. It just sort of appears, walks in between these cannons. And the smoothness of which it walks. Like,
Yeah.
there's a hat. It even looks like a strap over across the chest. Like,
they said there's activity here.
this is so clean, like, and so smooth, the way that this apparition moves.
Camera.
It is,
A lot of troops left from here.
like, I don't know how you would fake it and make it look this clean.
Yeah.
It would be very difficult.
But yeah, like it just snaps up on screen, just like boop. Here I am.
And just as quickly, it just sort of dissolves.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, And again, these guys, one of the things I've talked about here on the show a lot that I like knowing a little bit of before and after, like, why were you doing this? Here it made sense. So my mom and sister went out to Gettysburg years back and did a self-guided ghost tour. And they were sitting on the battle. You can drive out to these places at night listening to the self-guided ghost tour. And my sister's like, it was just creepy because you're sitting in this area as they explain what happened in this area, and it's night and you're sitting there and you're just like looking at it going, oh my God, like all this death. So these guys went out to an area that's purportedly has activity. They sat out there for like 20-30 minutes and then so I did clip some of the video. They didn't play the whole 20 minutes, but they do sit there for a while talking, and I clipped a bunch of that out. So they said, like, after this maybe we'll go check out Devil's Den. Oh, what about this and that? So they're just BSing. But yeah, they sat there for about at least 20 minutes before this came up. So it's not like they went there and boom, and like I said, the simplicity, this is all they got.
Yeah.
Just every time I watch this one, look at that. You can make out so much.
Yeah. Now, I mean, and again, the skepticism that I have of this particular clip is it exists. I'll just say that. I don't 100% buy this one, just purely based on, one, the way the guys are talking, and that it does just kind of poof into existence on this. Like, I could theoretically see how they could do, 2 videos over the top of each other, drop the opacity down on one of them, because they're stopped and it's just filming straight ahead, like keeping that locked in.
Yeah, they're in a car.
Yeah. So there is the possibility of that. I want to at least kind of call that out. But
Again,
I
get what you're saying, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like, first of all, you say the way they're talking. I'm curious about that because I've thought about that in the past too. Like, I've heard people react in videos and sometimes they seem fake to me. But then I really think about, well, how would you react?
that's
Like, what would you say?
fair point. Yeah.
We did that when we did a couple weeks ago. We did a Bigfoot video, some of the best, like what we consider some of the better Bigfoot evidence or video. And the 2 guys with the Ohio Grassman, like at first when I'm listening, I'm like, he sounds a little just silly. Like, who would act like that? And I'm like, well, everybody, unless you were faking it.
Yeah.
Like, if you were faking it, it seems like you'd go out of your way to not. These guys to me sound very like, what is that? Like, what is that?
Yeah.
Like, it's like you go out there to see a ghost, but what happens if you really
You
do?
actually do see one? That's a valid point. It's
What
like,
was he?
you're
Are they
expecting
supposed
to say it, but
Are they supposed
go,
to scream? Or
I
like,
knew it. Like,
and I'm not being like, I'm literally asking, how would you react? I mean, like,
I can say in this situation, I don't know how I would react.
right. So if I am outside of a whatever, I'm in a haunted house and something creeps around the corner, I'm going to react one way. But if I'm sitting in my car, zoomed out on a battlefield, and I see something, also they're like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
To them, the camera's picking up what they're seeing is probably drastically different. Like,
True.
their eyes are seeing something moving. I don't know. This one seems very, and again, it's the consistency of what we see with Gettysburg videos. This is
if it was, if you were seeing soldiers and things like that, and then also seeing like a lady in white, a specific stereotypical ghost, or something carrying a candelabra, like that wouldn't make any sense. Like the set and setting of that would not make any sense why you would see something other, like you wouldn't see a little kid ghost, or Swamp Thing on Vacation. Hint at a future episode, by the way. You wouldn't see something like that. You would see what makes sense for the area and what
Also,
makes sense for that specific haunting.
You brought up, and it's interesting to me because you said on this one, you're like, well, he just sort of appears, but they just sort of appeared in the last video too, and you didn't.
True.
And then the next video, they're really definitely going to just appear. Actually,
Okay.
see, to me, this one's Oh, by the way, just so we're clear, this is probably one of the most famous Gettysburg ghost videos. The news played this. This was shared with news outlets. A lot of people talked about this particular one.
Yeah.
To me, this one's fairly convincing. The first one is very convincing, and the third one is probably the least convincing. But I also, the reason why it's kind of not as convincing for me, I also have an explanation for, but it's still kind of, all I know is, to me, this is a ghost video. This is what I expect to see. And in a couple of weeks, when we do our kind of personal stories, which I hope you guys tune in for, because that one's going to be really interesting.
It's going to mean a lot to us. Like, I know I've heard some of Jay's stories off air, and he's heard some of mine. We're bringing evidence in some of these, and
Yeah,
like we've got some stuff to back. Well,
I was real young on both of them.
I'm bringing some photo backup. So
I will say that in mine, I don't know, I do not have some of these people to back it up, but I was not the only person who experienced things, and there were individuals, so it wasn't just me. But the way, so one of the stories I tell, though, and I will tell it in full on that episode, is the first time. I've only experienced things really twice in my life. Once when I was really young, and once when I was a teenager, in two different locations. And we'll get to all that on the show. It's not like I'm out there seeing ghosts all the time. I'm not. I don't. And I've become more skeptical over the years, so that might play a part in it. When I was younger, I was a little more open to things. But the very first one I saw looked a very specific way to me, and I've talked about it a lot, and it was this. So what you see on this kind of like glowing white figure, where you can tell what it is. It's a person. You can see the shape. You can see that's what I witnessed as a kid. And so I didn't witness like a face peeking around a corner or any of that. It was much like this. It just walked across the path in my house. That's what I saw. And so to me, that's why a lot of these, since that is kind of what I saw, it's hard for me to, like, if somebody's faking it, they are faking exactly what I actually saw. So that's why I think I give a little more credence. We watch a lot of these ghost videos where it's like a face pops around, and those are creepy. Ooh, face pops from the top or around the corner, or we hear footsteps running. I didn't hear anything. All I saw was a glowing figure. So it's, to me, since that's what I saw and that's what I see on these, it's hard for me, I guess. And we've said 100 times, I'm kind of a skeptical believer, but sometimes even I get a little caught up in it. So we have one more video.
Yeah. Side note, off air chat, skeptical believer. We were talking about the Monkeys Daydream Believer, and it's now stuck in my head. So thanks, Jay. But it's now turning into skeptical believer.
We were talking about Davy Jones.
Not the one in the locker, but So here's our last clip on that one.
All right, so we have one more clip. This one has a bunch of info. Again, 2009. This one told you everything. I just left it on what they told. They tell a little bit more, but it was not as important. So once again, I did cut this. There was actually more video. So look at the tree on your left.
Oh,
things have already started there. But watch, because things get a little crazy here. So I cut time out because they tell you, like, they sat here for a while, and then I just cut it to where the stuff starts. And
I have thoughts already.
Oh, we're not done.
Okay.
I'm curious of your thoughts, because things are about to get a little crazy here.
There's audio. There's lights in the background too.
Right. Well, there's roads and stuff off some places. So there could be car lights way back there. I don't really know. There we go. But wait, still not done.
So you're telling me this isn't a loop? Oh shit. Okay. Okay. Now's a good time to say I have not watched this clip.
And again, the thing that made me most skeptical about this is we're going to see that multiple times where it looks like multiple figures sort of appear and are walking forward. And I'm like, is it a loop? But then I realized if they were marching,
I was about to ask you if there was a loop going on, but
if they were marching,
yeah,
wouldn't we see that kind of uniformity in what they're doing? So again, we see stuff at the tree. So yeah, it's when you start seeing multiple forms right there, like boom.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does. By the way, it does loop, and then we'll go into, and then we see multiple. Like it's just one of the things I've
there's another
noticed.
light back there in the tree line.
So let me ask you a question. Okay, Matt, you and I, we're like, okay, let's fake a Gettysburg ghost, an apparition, right?
Yeah.
Here, we'll do a little
It's a
zoom
bit
in.
of the
I don't know what's
highlights.
going on by the tree, but
It
that's
looks like somebody standing up off
standing
like
up,
they're
or maybe sitting
crawling.
against the tree,
Yep.
are standing themselves up.
Yeah.
Okay, so Matt,
And I see that happen a couple of times in this video. So
I want you to go out there and fake a video, right? What are you going to do? What you said, lock down the camera, take a shot, then what? So you film this field first.
yeah.
Okay,
Film it
now
with nothing going on.
uh-huh.
Then theoretically, you and 10 of your buddies walk at varying distances away from the camera. Sorry, I just got locked in on that again of them just coming through there. But I mean, theoretically, you would drop the opacity down to make them look, more transparent, and then just in
Well,
editing, fade it in and out and all
the
that.
first thing
But,
is you would
and
have
I'm,
to
as anybody who's ever watched the show can see, I am in no way an expert on film editing. But that would be kind of how I would probably do that.
First of all, you'd have to do multiple things because
Yeah.
if they're out there, they're in color. These are just white forms.
Yeah.
You would have to have them in some kind of getup that would at least resemble things like because you can sometimes make out hats and even weapons in some of these videos and boots and straps. So they'd have to be dressed, period, somewhat. I mean,
Yeah.
What you might make out. Then comes the other thing that I was just, and it's, it was a trick question. I was
Well,
looking
I
to see
figured.
if you would just say it because, and that's okay. One thing you notice about all three of these clips is the way these apparitions are walking. They have their heads down. They seem sullen, almost as if they know they're heading to battle.
Yeah.
And that is another consistency.
And their potential imminent death.
Yeah, they know some of us aren't going to make it.
Yeah.
There's just no way. This is the Civil War. You don't
I'd
go
be a
into
little more concerned if they came in going, hell yeah, let's do this. Like, why are you so excited? Like, all of this sucks. Like, why would you want to do this?
Oh yeah, and we don't know like if this is a history, an echo repeating itself. Is this day 3? Is this day like have they already seen battle? Are these the guys that are leaving? Like, and that's what I mean. When I first watched this one, I'm like, oh man, it's kind of weird that we see all these guys. And I'm like, wait, walking so uniform, and I'm like, wait, they're
ghosts with
marching.
PTSD is what it is.
They're literally marching, which is what they would be doing. We would see uniformity in the way they walk.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. If somebody faked these, they were very smart about the way they did it. They really thought about, oh, how would this person act? Would they be sulking? What would they be wearing? How would they, So I'm not saying that they are. These just feel very genuine to me. And again, consistently, the videos you watch from Gettysburg, this is what they look like, all of them. So again, we'll use Bigfoot as a reference because I think it's the reason we do that. It's a little more tangible for people. So you and I watch Bigfoot videos a lot, and we will talk about a lot of times when we don't like one, when we don't buy it, it's because he doesn't move like we've seen in other Bigfoot videos. That doesn't look like. Why does that one look so different than the rest? Like, why does he not have the dome on his head, or why does he? And so, to me, it's the consistency that we're seeing. The early, Gettysburg video we showed where the guys are walking across the path. All these cameras are locked down, but that's because people are going out there and setting a camera up in an area that people have seen stuff and report stuff. That makes sense to me. Like if my whole sole purpose, like if I'm walking around, I'm filming. But if my sole purpose is like I'm going to go to this battlefield where people report seeing things, and I'm going to sit there for a freaking hour,
Yeah.
I'm going to lock my camera down on a tripod, man.
I
That's
do have one thought about something that I don't know if anybody's ever done it, but even with the residual haunting, like you're not interacting with it, it's not interacting with you.
correct.
Is there ever, like, I don't know if anybody's ever done this, and if so, I'd love to see the video. Has anybody just walked, like this field in particular? Has anybody walked into this and then just like 360 filmed, like this stuff as it's appearing around them, and then they're just kind of like in the middle of it, or is it always off in the distance?
So I don't know anything about. I
Because
am
that
not
might be
a.
kind of cool. Just like, oh,
I'm not a
now you're
physicist.
like
I
face
know
to face
nothing
with
about
that.
this stuff, but I have my own sort of theories.
Okay.
If this is some sort of energy trap, and you're out there, maybe it can't. Like maybe your energy is enough for the time. Does that? I don't know if that makes sense. And it sounds like we get a little hippy dippy with this stuff, but that's
Like
what I'm.
it's pulling from your energy and potentially your camera equipment
No,
as
I'm saying
well.
if you're out there standing in that field, maybe the energy can't interact. Like maybe you were
Oh,
causing some
like you're
sort of
preventing it from happening.
yeah.
Gotcha.
And again, if we're thinking this is more, so we call these ghosts because what is a ghost? There's a difference between, believe it or not, I know there's a difference between a ghost and a spirit and an apparition. All these things are slightly different. A ghost, people will say all the time, "Oh God, I got a ghost on my screen," or "I got a go." You're seeing something that isn't really there, but it's a leftover artifact, and that's kind of what I think these are. So I don't think there is any interaction. I think, like I said, these apparitions we're seeing are just triggered, like energy just repeating itself, and maybe if you're there, it somehow screws up the flow of that energy,
Yeah.
and it can't, because I don't know the way I don't know how that stuff works.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm no
We don't know
physicist,
how the spirit world works.
no idea.
We've just seen Ghost and Ghostbusters,
But
and those are two very different films. By the way,
But that's just it. Do I believe that this is the spirit world, quote unquote, or do I just think this is exactly what I keep saying I think it is, which is just
and
residual, an
and
echo?
I want to ask this question. Maybe you know this, maybe you don't. And actually, we can cut and do a little bit of research on this, unless you know already. Do we know like the mineral content of that area in Gettysburg?
I have
Because
no idea what it is, but
from
that's
what
a
I
very interesting
understand, there's
question.
like, I think it's like quartz, like high quartz levels will like,
Can trap energy.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's, and to me, I
yeah,
know it starts sounding like I said a little hippy dippy, but some of this is
yeah,
actually scientifically.
yeah.
We're not saying quartz create ghosts, but if certain minerals can like hold energy, like
Yeah.
so to the best of my knowledge, now somebody can definitely, well, that's not true, Jason. Don't say that. That's not true. There are supposedly, okay. So there are three types of hauntings typically believed to exist. Residual, like Matt said, um, and
Intelligent.
then like poltergeists, and they're all considered to be different things. So like poltergeist hauntings are when things get moved around a lot, pushed around a lot, whatever.
Hmm.
Demonic is a little different than even a poltergeist. Like people usually get physically, you can be attacked and things like that. So there are places in Gettysburg, like hotel. Oh, I don't like hotel. I'm saying hotels, but buildings and stuff where I think things move around
Yeah.
inside. To the best of my knowledge, on the battlefield spirits, nobody's ever interacted with one. These type of things that we're showing you today, I don't think there's ever been any stories that I am aware of any interaction with them. So make of that what you will. But that's why I said, to me, if you're going to believe in ghosts, this is the easiest one to believe in,
Yeah.
because this is not a spirit that can throw a cup at you or go, we don't hear them saying like, get out. None of that happens. We are just seeing a repeated pattern over and over. So like this one, we're seeing guys march. The first one, we were seeing guys march. The second one, we are seeing a guy walk around. Now, I don't know that those cannons were there, but we see him walk around and disappear, walk around, and that's all he does.
Yeah.
Like he was in that area, and something happened, and he was just like doing his thing. There's no interaction. It's not like he lines up with the cannon and you see him fire it all. It's nothing like that. He just walks, and that's all we see in any of these. So they just seemed very legit to me, because also, again, let's go back to the peeking head around the corner, right? Or the running up the stairs. Those will scare the shit out of you. Like, you hear people will jump and scream and all that. If I were out here and saw this, I would be.
Yeah, I don't know if I would be scared.
I would be scared, but not that kind of scared. I'd be like, I wouldn't want to run. I would do exactly this. I would stay here and film as much of it as I could.
Yeah.
The hairs on my arms would probably be standing up, but it's more intrigued. I'm not in fear for my life.
Yeah, no, it seems like more of a sullen, solemn, depressing area.
Yes.
Because I mean, like, the whole battle, like I said, there was thousands of people that died here. And that's got to leave an impression.
50,000, over 50,000. That's a lot.
And
violent.
Like they say, war is hell. And
this is civil war. So I don't want to get too gruesome into it, but like, if you were to be in war today and get shot, you're getting shot with a modern AR-15 or M6. This is a musket ball that might not kill you right away. Like, you may lay there.
I'll cut in a photo of a musket ball and a cannonball as well, like in comparison to the things on screen.
Cannonballs
I'll put that right up here.
Cannonballs are meant to, like, I don't know if people know, I think a lot do, but cannonballs don't explode. That's not what they do. A cannonball is a big ball that fires out of something that is meant to rip through anything it hits.
Destroy everything.
Legs, break bone. Like, that's what they did. This is violent war, like very violent war. That's what I said. War today is still horrible and horrific.
And not only that, there was close combat stuff going on too. There's swords involved. There's bayonets involved.
Bayonets. Like, well, after you fired that musket, you got one shot with that musket.
Yeah.
If you were front
before
line,
you got to stop and reload, and it's not just put some in. You got to like do a whole process where you're loading. It's muzzle loaded stuff.
Front line, you may get 2 shots out of that musket before they're up on you. You might get it loaded a second time and get a second shot fired off. So these guys would fire off muskets and then run at each other. And if you were front line, there's a good chance you were going to get hit by. You were the ones taking the first musket balls. Like, it is. After that, this is all done with swords, knives, bayonets, because once they're in close, you ain't reloading a musket. It's not happening. Then you got artillery guys in the background who are about to fire cannons. Do you know how many friendly folk probably got hit with cannon fodder, like as cannon fodder? Like, it's insane to think about.
Yeah, because they're just aiming down range, and like, if they can hit, somebody on the other side, great. If they accidentally hit you, oh, whoops! What are you gonna do about it? Nothing.
Yeah,
you're gone.
I mean, it's collateral damage. You're not trying to hit them, but you're trying to take out a mass of the enemy. And like Matt said, it's regardless of what side you're on, there's still a lot of death and a lot of painful death and suffering, and people that you might not necessarily. This isn't like
and honestly, like there's also not just the battlefield trauma, like what happened directly from that, but they had the medics, like
they had a hospital set up,
dude.
And
the gruesome way that they had to deal with, a leg being blown off. Like, if you survived it, first off,
because
they're trying to patch you up.
This is like the 1860s. It's not,
sterilization. You want something to be sterile so you don't get an infection? No, sorry.
You want something to numb the pain? Can't
bite
do that.
down onto this stick real hard.
And cutting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say the one
have some whiskey. Try not to die.
What I guess mildly positive is during the 3-day Battle of Gettysburg, only one civilian died, and she was actually, her house is supposedly haunted as well, and it's a real tragic story.
I feel like I've heard this story. Like a cannonball got shot into the house, like
No,
through a door.
bullet. It's a bullet goes through the
Oh.
door and clipped her, and it's a whole thing where I forget what her name was. I should have looked this up, but
I'll look it
Matt's
up right now.
Matt's on it already.
Yep.
But she was the only civilian to die, and there's a whole like traumatic marriage, like she was going to get married.
Mhm.
It's a whole story here, and her house is still there, and it's one of the houses we went by on the walking tour, and there's a bullet hole in the door, and you can actually women are supposed to stick their finger through the bullet hole, and if they feel something, that means they're going to get married soon. It's a whole like
Weird, but okay, sure.
I forget her name. I know you're going to say it. It's like Ruby or right. So Matt's pulled it up. Jenny Wade. Jenny Wade was her name, and
I'll put a photo of her right up here. R.I.P.
yeah, it's a really interesting and very tragic story. But her house is still there. It's one of the houses we did on
And it's so well known, in my opinion, that I knew the backstory without him even saying the name or anything. I was just like, yeah, she was cooking dinner in the house and a bullet came through and
yeah,
shot
it
her,
was just
so.
total ricochet accident. Nobody was.
It was a
It
stray
was
bullet. Yeah.
completely nobody meant for this to happen. So that's the one plus I can say about this 3-day bloody battle is no civilians were like they weren't getting taken out and by the dozens. They at least tried to keep it away. So Matt, I did a real quick search while you were doing your real quick search, and one of the primary minerals in Gettysburg is quartz, a significant component of the sandstone and siltstone of
I was going to say
Gettysburg.
I couldn't find anything about quartz specifically, but yeah.
Feldspar, iron oxide, clays, and micas, and quartz. Quartz is the first one that came up for me, so I think that's pretty interesting.
It definitely, lends to some of the theory on it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's funny that you brought that up, and the first thing that comes up for me is quartz. So there's a lot of quartz there apparently. So interesting. Make of that what you will. Science. I don't know.
Well, now I got to put Thomas Dolby on screen.
Thomas Dolby. So I like I said, I've just always found it to be a fascinating thing. Like Gettysburg, and Matt had a little more skepticism than I did, and that's fine. But it's so consistent. It's so consistent. Every video you see out on these battlefields looks exactly like what we watched today. And yes, cameras are locked down. Again, they're going out here looking for it. They're spending sometime hours before they catch anything. And sometimes this is important to know on this show. Okay. Bigfoot hunters, ghost hunters, sometimes they don't capture anything. Nothing. They're days, weeks. They go try stuff. So we were talking about. Oh God, I did it. What's their names? We just talked about the other day. The ghost hunters. So Sam and Colby, who is Matt was telling me about, and we will add a link so you can check them out. Sam and Colby. Matt's watching them the other day, and he says that,
By the way, if you're coming to Sam and Colby through our channel, hell yeah, tell them we sent you. That'd be great.
You never heard of them. That's cool.
Yeah.
But what people ask him, Matt's like, so they put up a 4-hour video because people are like, we want to see it. And Matt's like, Connie and I watched the whole video and not a lot happened. And I'm like, right. And so normally what they do is they cut everything, which is what we do. Yeah. And we show you what you want to see because the other part's boring. Remember that though. They're not out there and go, here's a ghost. Sometimes these people are for hours or even have been out multiple times. And, that's important to remember. Some people go out Bigfoot hunting and they don't see anything. And some people see something the first time, and some people are out for weeks and then they see something for 30 seconds, So there's some good and bad of that. The good is it makes it a little more realistic. The bad is sometimes you want it so bad and you've been out there so many times, anything's a Bigfoot to you, or anything's a ghost to you. But these people are going out on the field. They're locking down a camera and they're waiting. And it's areas, you could go, well, how are they just by chance? It's not by chance. People are telling them this area seems to be. In that second video, the guys talk about it. And I did cut out a portion of it where they are saying like, after this, we'll check out Devil's Den. But they say in the beginning of that video, he said he's seen a lot of activity here. So they went somewhere where they knew it was supposed to happen.
Yeah. It's reported to be active. So go there and check it out. Why are you going to go? I mean, maybe you're just like, hey, maybe there's stuff going on over here that no one has seen. And then you're the first person to report that.
This is like
You go there and see
it's
it.
a real news story about a woman who called the this is true. I don't know why this made me think of this, but she called her like the local courthouse or government, whatever, in this town, and she complained. And she was like, there's a deer crossing sign near my property. I want you to come out and move it.
Yeah.
And they were like, why? And because she thought because they put the sign there, that was making the deer use that spot. It's like, no, it's opposite. We put it there because they use that spot. It's like a game trail.
Yeah.
So we put it where we know it's going to be.
Yeah.
And they go where they know it's going to be, man. If
Yeah.
you want to see a lake monster, you go to a lake where there's reportedly a lake monster. There's a where I work next door, there's a big business. I walk around there all day.
I thought he was going to say a Bigfoot.
I go out to this business and I walk it every day on my lunch, and there's a pond there. I'm not going to go there to see a lake monster because it's a body of water. I'm going to go out to Lake Champlain where I know there's supposed to be a lake monster.
Champ.
And I don't know if you guys know this. Hundreds of people go out there all the time and don't see it. Sometimes people do. And people are like, well, what about the people who happen to be searching for it? Well, they're going to go to the specific areas that it's reported in.
Yeah.
They're going to try to go under the conditions in which people tend to see it. That's important. So I'm babbling a lot, but there's reason for it. So just know, if you go looking for it in a place where it's not supposed to be, you're probably not going to see it. I watched a video yesterday. Guy was in a supposedly haunted location, and he's a ghost hunter, and he set up out there, and he was by himself in this house, and he got a couple taps and stuff that could be explained away, maybe. So, and it's a haunted location, and he didn't really, and I watched the video, he didn't really catch anything, in my opinion, that would have made me, like, there's things I'd have been like, well, that was interesting, but I don't know. That's not proof. So, I don't know. Just saying. Sam and Colby. I appreciate that they did that, though. I think I told you that the other day. Like, people were like, well, we want to see the whole thing. All right, well.
Here you go. Yeah.
This might not be.
And and the video in particular I was telling you about, they filmed it in one cut, and the only time they would actually cut the cameras was to change a battery out. Is what they tried to stick to that as much as possible.
Yeah.
So there wasn't like, any kind of weird like editing choices that they were trying to do. It was just, okay, battery's almost dead. We got to change this out. Swap it out real quick. Okay, back on. So
yeah, this isn't magic here, guys. Hundreds of people film at Gettysburg every day and don't capture anything. I'm gonna give you one more quick example, and then I'm gonna shut the hell up. We're going on a cruise. We've gone on a couple cruises, and people.
I was like, he's about to rub it in. Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna rub it in. I want Matt to go. They're not able to go, and it's a bummer. I really wish you guys could go, but that aside, I'm not rubbing it in. I hear people go, you're going on a cruise. And I'm like, yeah. And they said, well, like, that one cruise, man, like all those people got sick. Yeah. That one cruise, they got hit by bad weather. Yeah.
The one,
sure you want to go
the
on a cruise?
entire boat filled up with poop. You remember that one?
You got to put it in perspective.
Check out Poop Cruise on Netflix. Not a sponsor.
All I got to tell you is if you do a quick Google search on how many people from just the United States alone go on a cruise every year, statistically, you're looking for the one small thing here to happen to me. So it's the same. People, I'm afraid of flying. Why? You know how rare a plane crash is, but you'll get in a car every day. What I'm saying is the number of people who don't capture anything is way bigger than people who do. But when somebody dies in a plane crash, you're going to hear about it because it's rare. So when somebody captures something on video, we're going to see it because it's rare. Nobody'd be watching YouTube for all the videos. Here's what I didn't capture on just a video of nothing. Nobody wants that. So we're only going to see the stuff that's worth seeing.
It's like a super clickbaity thumbnail of, I went camping and nothing happened.
Like nothing happened.
Cool.
It's like this. Why are you watching this?
I'm going to make that thumbnail.
I don't know. It's like, you've been watching this for 5 hours. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with me. It's really boring.
But also kind of relaxing because it's just video of a dude chilling in the woods. Like,
When my son was little, I mean little, like 5, 6 years old, he loved trains, and he used to watch these train shows on like PBS and stuff. It was literally just you
not
watch a
laughing at him.
train.
I got a family member that does the
You'd
same
watch
thing.
a train like, and then every once in a while a guy would pop in and go, "This is the 415 out of Cleveland," and that's it. And
Yeah.
that's like, what, dude? I was worried about him. I think it was just that. I think it's a little relaxing, maybe.
How many views does that video have though? Because there's got to be people watching it.
Well, this was on like PBS or something. It was actually there was a TV show, man.
Yeah.
It was a real thing. So, yeah. So, it's a thing. So what do you think overall? I mean, you've said it a couple times. It's almost impossible to not think. Right?
Yeah, like this location in particular, I think the amount of death, trauma, heartache, all of that, it just lends to.
You just made me think of something that might help support my hypotheses about why you can't interact. So you just said that. Your words were like, this area is so much death, so much destruction.
Yeah.
So then begs the question, well, sorry, I don't mean to, a nuclear bomb was dropped on a city, too.
Yeah.
Matter of fact.
Yep.
And how many people died? And
in some cases, for the record, there is actual stains of those people that got evaporated. Yeah.
I don't like the word stains, but
like, yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
Shadows were literally so high, it was so hot and so bright, it burned shadows directly to us. But, and I'm not saying there's no hauntings that people think are associated with it, but how come there are hauntings all over the place?
Yeah.
Because people live there. Because day-to-day life and activities go on there.
Yeah.
Maybe that has something to do
That's
with
a good point. Gettysburg is not and actually, side note, while I was looking for like the mineral deposits and everything, I came across a business that has set up a quarry in the area of the Gettysburg battlefield. And there's not many reviews, but they are all 1-star negative reviews because the people who let those reviews find it to be extremely disrespectful that they are mining a tragic, battle site or nearby it. And that was just something I randomly came across. But there's no one's living there.
You're triggering me, Matt. No, you're triggering thoughts in me that make sense.
Yeah.
So you just brought up again, you said these battlefields and it clicked. Yes. During the daytime, Matt, if you go there, you can walk across some of these battlefields. You can walk up to those cannons. Nobody's stopping you. There seems to be another consistency about these videos. They all seem to happen dusk or night when it's not a highly traveled area, when there aren't people all over the place. So,
very good point.
And by the way, that's not always the case. People have caught ghosts or apparitions on camera when there were people nearby, and that's happening in Gettysburg. I almost said Gatlinburg. It probably has happened there too. It's happened in Gettysburg. We've had videos of people filming at cemeteries, the one with the little boy that runs across the cemetery, like all that. It does still happen. So it's just not as often. So this is a very interesting take for me. I hope you guys like this sort of thing because
and I mean, there's definitely some crossover with some history buffs that love Gettysburg. I almost said Gatlinburg because you did.
Sorry. We have our things. So for me, Matt and I tend to cross a lot. We both tend to like Bigfoot stuff a lot. And then I tend to lean a little heavier in these sort of ghost sightings. Matt seems to be a little more into like the sea monsters and the sea creatures. I like that stuff, but it's definitely, we have our areas.
Yeah.
We'll
definitely go into some of the other weird like side stuff that I'm into.
I love cryptids, but Matt's way more into cryptids than
I have an interest in shadow people as well. Which is a whole other thing. And I have stories on that, personal stories as well, which we will go into in
Yeah,
a future
and that's
episode.
a whole different thing. Like Matt said, I don't even know what to make of those.
Yeah.
I don't know what those are. Like, what are shadow people? What are they? What are the black-eyed kids? What are these things?
Yeah.
And it's a whole thing of like, apparently they do exist now. Are they fake or a bunch of kids faking it? I don't know. It's weird. I want to do something since we are in the month of Halloween, and one of the things I really enjoy doing throughout, I mean, I do it all year round, but especially during the month of Halloween, is I watch horror.
Mhm.
I'm a big proponent of watching horror movies, especially. It's just the whole vibe in there, and I really enjoy it. So this is a little off or typical, but I would like both of us to give what are give me a couple of your, we'll kind of recommend what
Okay.
are some of your Halloween go-tos, and what's one that people might not know about, or a series they might not know about, or something that they should check, you think they should check out. So first, what's a go-to for you almost every Halloween? What's something that you're like, I watch this almost every year?
Well, oh man.
Oh, by
tried
the way, Trick or Treat's going to be on at the theaters.
that was one of them I was going to recommend. Trick or Treat is
Is it fun?
it's a
I like
newer
Anthologies.
yeah,
It's pretty old
cult
now,
classic
but
on there. Yeah. Well, considering it was filmed back in like 2007, didn't come out till like 2012
9.
or something like that. It came out a couple years later. Mainly because some of the people in it became way more famous for being in other things. I try every year to just kind of like rotate stuff out so I'm not watching the same thing over and over again. But a classic go to for me, just to I've seen it so many times I can just have it on in the background, is George Romero's Night of the Living Dead has got to be one of my favorites. Technically, the entire Living Dead series, or of the Living Dead series. Not to get into the Return of the Living Dead, but that's a whole thing. But yeah, I really like Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, all of the originals. But yeah, just stuff that's like really creepy and atmospheric. Nosferatu, the original.
And the remakes of Night and Dawn, but not the rest.
Yeah, the remake of Day of the Dead is straight garbage.
Oh, it's not good. It's not
Oof.
great. It's fun in a stupid way. I will say that. It is
Yeah.
fun in a stupid way. If you can go into it going, I know this is shit, but that's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, I try to do a mix of ghosts, slasher,
I'm a
zombies, vampires, all
so
of it.
there's been a debate on this for years. I am a definitely, I watch it a Halloween kind of guy. I love to watch Nightmare Before Christmas, and it's always been a debate: is it a Halloween movie or a Christmas? To me, it feels a lot more Halloween.
Yeah.
But you can do it either, I think. But I watch that almost every year. I know a lot of people like Hocus Pocus and stuff this time of year, things like that. I really enjoy Trick or Treat. I think I like anthologies a lot, so I think that's a good one to kind of
So
watch.
I'm a big fan of Nightmare Before Christmas. I got all kinds of stuff. That's just one thing that was within arm's reach I could grab. So yeah.
Some that I would like tell people to kind of check out, like if you've never seen Lady in White, it's cheesy because
Yeah.
it's 80s, so at the end it's kind of cheesy. But to me, that is a creepy fun. I like ghost
Ooh.
stories.
It's Changeling.
So I was going to say The Changeling. Whenever somebody asks me what's a scary movie, to me, The Changeling scares me.
Yeah.
It's a ghost story. You never see a ghost, and that is important. You hear things, you see things move, but you never see a ghost, and that's one of those I really enjoy. Because I that to me is creepier. I love zombie movies. They don't scare me. I could watch zombie movies all the time.
Yeah.
But they just scare me anymore. They did when I was a kid, but not. Slasher movies, like he said.
Those are just fun.
Some of them are.
Usually.
I like more original ones too, like
Behind the Mask.
The Rise of Leslie. Versus
I literally just recommended that movie to somebody on
so
Friday.
good.
Yeah.
I think
so
it's on
good.
Shudder, or it was. I don't know.
It
if
might
it's
be.
still
Yeah.
on Shudder,
Look,
but it was.
do your own research on that. Find what streaming service or physical copy you can get of any of these movies.
So I'm gonna
Behind the Mask,
recommend-
The Rise of Leslie Vernon is a high
so much
recommend.
fun. Like, what a fun idea.
Yep.
People have kind of cribbed off of it
Yeah.
since, but
Go
that
into it as blind as possible.
I want to recommend a series. Now, I'm not a big found footage guy, and when it's done well, I will tell you the last broadcast, excellent.
Yep.
And made before the Blair Witch Project.
It's made before the Blair Witch Project, but not
And deals
before
with the
Cannibal
cryptid.
Holocaust.
Sort of.
Sort of deals with the cryptid, the Jersey Devil
Sort of.
specifically.
That's the
Sort
trigger
of.
for the whole thing. But I'm going to recommend one found footage series. I like the Hell House movies, and I just watched
Okay.
Hell House Origin on Shudder, and like they're creepy enough, and that kind of works for me.
Okay.
Like they have a creepy vibe.
I have not checked them out, but they are on my list.
And then Matt,
I have. Okay, so this is
Triggered
how
Beyond One.
well Jay and I know each other. I think I know exactly what you're about to talk about because
well, I was
going to
let you say it, but Matt
because I
caught
mess
me,
up the names of the
Matt
series
caught
all the
me,
time.
got me hooked on one, and I think there's only 2, right? Or did they do
There's
a
a
third?
third one out now, and they're
I haven't
already
seen
planning
it.
a
You've
fourth one.
seen the third?
Uh-uh.
So the first one is fantastic. The second one is creepy. It doesn't have nearly as much of a story, but go ahead and
Talking
share
about a
the-
found footage movie?
Yeah.
Okay. So this series is called Horror in the High Desert.
Yep.
There are, at this point, I think 3. They appear to be on Tubi. At least the first one is on Tubi. But yeah, the first one, it follows a guy who goes out to investigate his a friend that goes missing, and it's all documentary style. It's the real life disappearance, allegedly. It says that it takes inspiration from a real life disappearance of a person, and then he goes in to see where this guy went, and shenanigans occur. We'll say.
And it's got a similar vibe to Last Broadcast to me. That's why I liked it so much. It's done a little better than like I like the first Paranormal Activity. I like the first.
And you
couple.
want to talk about atmosphere? This movie is just dread, which is the best, in my opinion. I would take a movie where I'm unsettled over a movie where stuff's just jumping out and it's a cat. Oh, don't worry about it.
I mean,
It's
I
just a
like
cat.
those. They have their place. But when I want to be scared, these leave you going, oh my God, what's going to happen next?
Yeah.
You know, and that's what's kind of fun. On that note, the last one I'll kind of recommend is Lake Mungo, which I think is again done in that same sort of vein, that same style as
so
these.
Good.
You could do it really good, like Horror in the High Desert, Last Broadcast, Lake Mungo would all 3 go really well together. Yeah. I feel like. And for you youngins out there, we've talked about this in the past. What do you think are good gateway like horror for kids?
And the Gate.
The Gate. I think Monster House is a really good one.
Yeah. Paranormal.
Paranormal
is so good. Coraline
is good. These are all really good.
Talk about a triple feature right there.
The Monster Squad.
Absolutely. We're in the goddamn club. Just
we
for
are.
the record.
Just want to let you guys know we're not just saying that. We
are in the goddamn club.
We are in the goddamn club. So, and that came from the man himself, Andre. So we don't have to. Andre Gower told us we were in the goddamn club, and since it's his club, we're in.
He started it. Yeah.
So anyway, I just thought that'd be fun since we are in the month. Why don't you guys drop in the comments what some of your what like horror films you like to watch during the month of October?
And I'm absolutely using that clip again.
I gave it to him. He's gonna use
so good.
That's there you go. There's the horror movie to watch.
Yeah, the peanut butter solution.
It'll leave you unsettled. That's for sure.
And there's ghosts involved.
There are ghosts involved. That's what I grew up watching that show.
Mm-hmm.
Which is where the whole twisted thing came from. Is we talk about the twisted stuff we watch as kids. Let us know in the comments though. What are some of your favorite films to watch during the month of October? Let us know your thoughts on the ghosts of Gettysburg. Have you ever experienced anything? Have you been out to Gettysburg? Because just being out there's a vibe, and I just kind of want to know. Even if you didn't see anything, you'll feel it, and it's interesting. It's beautiful though. Let us know in the comments. Do us a big favor. Make sure you just real quick, like seriously, hitting subscribe and hitting thumbs up. It's like less than 2 seconds, really. So if you don't mind doing that, it helps out a lot. Let us know things you would like to see in the future. We got some really cool stuff coming up. When did the Amity episode? Is that up already? Or
at the time of release of this, it will be up.
If you have not watched the Amityville one, check it out because I think it's really good. We're going to do a lot more stuff like that. So hopefully that's you guys really enjoy it. And that's all I got, Matt. You got anything before we leave? Bid these fine folks adieu.
Nothing currently, but just one thing we need them to do from now on. Keep it creepy.
This is kind of creepy. Goosebumps rising up my spine.